Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and welcome to the Admin channel. So in the previous lecture I have created a small project of the registration page using a Servlet JSP JDBC Tomcat server and MySQL database. So today in this lecture we will build a login form using the JSP Servlet and the JDBC and the MySQL database. Alright. So guys, in this lecture or a project we will create a user login form and we will validate that user's username and a password with the database, and if the login successful validated with the database, then we will redirect to the login success page, otherwise we will redirect to the login page itself. Okay, so let's start the session. So let's create a project in the Eclipse. So go to the file, new, and let's create a dynamic web project, and let's give the name of the project as a login demo, and I'm using the Apache Tomcat 8.5 version and the dynamic web module version is a 3.1. okay, let's do it. Next, I will generate the web.xml file and let's finish. So guys, we have created a dynamic web project with the name the login demo, and we have the default configuration, and this is a Java resource. Inside that we have a source folder, and this is the web content. Inside the web content we have a web inif, and we have the library folder, and we have the web.xml file. Alright, so first of all guys, I am going to create a login.jsp page. So guys, to create a login.jsp page, right click on the web content folder, new, and the JSP file. So let's keep the name of the JSP file as the Login Jsp. Alright, so let's finish it, and inside the body I'm going to write the code to create the login page. So let's create a div and let's align it in the center first. Alright, and inside the div I'm going to write, so let's provide header user login form, and after that let's put table, and inside the table, so before table I am going to create a form first. So let's create a form, and the form action I am going to keep as a login URL. Alright, and the method we have to provide, so let's provide the method as a post method. So let's cut this and let's put it after the table. Okay, and now guys, inside the table I am going to write a tr and td. So let's give the user name, let's close the td, and after that let's start td again, and let's put an input tag, and inside the input tag let's keep the type as a text. Okay, and the name I am going to provide for the username is like a username. Okay, so this is the username, and let's close td and let's close tr. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this line and paste beneath it, and going to edit wherever it is required. So let's make it password. Okay, username and a password, and let's keep the type as a password to hide the password we provide, and let's keep the name of the password as a password. Okay, so till here we have created the two form, username form and a password form. So now let's create the another like the submit button. Okay, so input type will be like submit, okay, and the value I am going to provide as a login. All right, so guys, we have successfully created. Here we have a spelling mistake. Okay, center. Now it's all right. So let's save this and let's run this on a server and let's check that how this JSP page looks alike. Okay, so run on a server, Tomcat finish. So guys, this is the login page. We have created the username and the password and the login button to login. Okay, so let's close it. And now guys, if you will see that in the login page we have a form action as a login and a method as a post. So now guys, we are going to create a servlet file, and after that, so guys, let's create packages first. Package, and let's keep the name as a package net.xadmin.login. okay, finish it, and inside the login let's create another package for the bean package. Okay, so let's create a bean package, and okay, and after that let's create the another package with the name, let's say database. Okay, so let's create the another package with the name wave, and inside the wave we are going to create our servlet file. Okay, so guys, here I have created the packages. All right, so inside the wave folder I am going to create a servlet file. So let's create our servlet, and I'm going to name the servlet as a login servlet. Okay, login servlet, and the user map I'm going to provide the user mapping as a login. So let's change it, let's provide as a simple login. Okay, so guys, here the user mapping is login and the login servlet. So let's finish it. So guys, you can see that we have a user mapping as a login, and we have a login servlet as a servlet class. Okay, and inside the servlet class we have a doGet method and a doPost method. So guys, as you can see in the login page, you can see that we have a method as a post. So when we click the login button, it is going to call the servlet, and guys, it is going to call the doPost method. So guys, inside the doPost method we have to write the code to validate the username and the password we will enter with the database. All right, so let's do one thing. So let's take the username and the password which we will enter in the JSP page to our servlet. Okay, so for that guys, what we can do, we can take the username and the password which will provide in the login JSP page by using the request.the_get parameter method. Okay, so let's call a request.get parameter, and let's provide the name here. So name is like a username. Okay, and let's save this to a variable with the name of a type string username. Okay, so let's copy this, and here we have to provide the name as the password, and let's save this in a password variable. All right, so now guys, I'm going to create a bean class, and the bean class where it will contain the username and the password. Okay, and Okay, and guys, I am going to store this username and the password to that bean. So let's go to the package bean and let's create a bean class, a Java class, and let's give the name as a login bean. All right, let's finish it. So let's provide the two property here as a private string username. All right, and the next is a private string password. Okay, so let's create a getter and the setter method for the same. So generate getters and setters and select all and okay. So guys, here we have created the getter and the setter method of the username and the password. All right, so let's go to our login servlet and let's create the login bin object here. Login bin with the help of the new keyword login bin. All right, so let's import login bin. Okay, and now guys, I'm going to set these values to the bean class username and the password property. So let's call the setter method, or guys, either we can do with the help of the constructor also. So let's call the setter method of the username, and here let's pass username. That's fine. Login bin dot set password, and here we will provide the password variable. Okay, so guys, till here we have set the username and the login to the login bin class. Okay, and now guys, after that I have to call the validate method of the DAO class. So for that guys, we have to call the DAO class, and inside the DAO class we will write the JDBC driver connection, and after that we will try to connect with the database and we will take the username and the password from there. So for that guys, we have to create the DAO layer. So let's go to the package, the package with the name with the database, and here let's create a DAO class, a Java class, and let's provide the name as a login DAO. Let's finish it. So guys, I have created a login DAO class, and inside this DAO class I am going to configure the JDBC drivers. Okay, and then we are going to call the driver, and then we are going to load the driver, and then we are going to get the connection, and after that with the help of that connection we are going to fetch the username and the password from the database, and then we are going to match that username and the password with the user input of the username and the password, and if that username and the password is authenticated, then we will redirect to the login success page. So first of all, I am going to configure the JDBC drivers configurations. Okay, so for that guys, I will make a separate variables to store all the like the DB URL, DB name, and the password and the driver name. Okay, so let's create a private string DB URL, and let's store the name like JDBC colon MySQL. Okay, colon, and the local host colon, and the port number is like 3306. Okay, and the database name is like a user DB. So guys, here the user DB is my database name. All right, so that's why I have written the user DB. Now guys, the next property I am going to define is the DB username, like a DB uname. Okay, so DB username is like a root. So let's copy this and let's paste. Now next I'm going to provide DB password. Okay, and the password of the MySQL database I have provided is a root password. Given is my password I have. Okay, so now the next variable I am going to provide is like a dv driver. So guys, the driver name is like com.mysql, okay, .cj .jdbc .driver. All right, so guys, here I have defined all the URL name and the username and the password and the driver name of the database. So now guys, I have to actually I have to load the driver also. Okay, so for that I am going to create a separate method to load the driver and to get the connection. So guys, so let's go to our the login servlet page, and guys, inside the login servlet page, let's create a login DAO object. So login DAO object, login DAO equals to new login DAO. Okay, and let's call a method with the name validate, and here we will pass a login bin. All right, so let's import first. Now guys, inside the login DAO class we don't have the validate method, so let's create like the validate method inside the login DAO. Okay, so guys, here we have created the validate method inside our DAO class. All right, and let's provide the return type as a boolean. All right, so guys, here, and for now let's return something to avoid the error. Let's say returning false. No problem, I will change after that. Okay, so now guys, I have called the validate method. Okay, and inside the validate method, inside the login DAO class, I have to write the code to fetch the username and the password from the database, and then we will match that username and the password. Okay, so guys, before that we have to load the driver. Okay, so guys, so let's create a separate method to load the JDBC driver. Public void load driver is the method name, and inside this method name I am going to write the code to load our JDBC driver. So let's pass a string dv driver. Okay, all right, and guys, inside this I have to load the driver. So class dot for name, and inside the for name I have to pass the dv driver. All right, and guys, here we have to surround it with a try and a catch. All right, so guys, I have written a method to load the driver. So guys, inside the validate method, first of all we have to load the driver. So let's call a load driver method to load our JDBC driver. And here we have to pass the dv driver. All right, and now guys, we have loaded the JDBC driver. So now guys, the next step is to take the connection. So for that guys, I am going to create a separate method to take the connection. Okay, so let's create a separate method, and then we will call after the load driver method. Okay, so let's create a separate get connection method, So let's keep the return type of this method as a connection, and get connection is my method name. So let's import with the java.sql package and inside the get connection I have to get the connection. So let's create the object of the connection as a cone. So let's initialize the null first. So cone is the connection object, and after that guys, cone equals to driver manager. Okay, so driver manager dot the get connection. Okay, and inside the string I have to pass all the db urls. Okay, db url comma the db uname I have defined above properties, and the db password. All right, so db url. Okay, here the u is in a capital letter. So db url, db username, db password I have passed. Okay, so let's put a semicolon. So guys, here it is showing error, so we have to surround it with a try and a catch. So guys, here I have surrounded try with a try and a catch, and then we have to return the connection also. So let's return the cone. Okay, so guys, here guys I have written a method to get the connection. So let's call this method from the validate method after the load driver. So guys, here after that guys here we are taking the connection. All right, so let's take this connection inside the connection object. So connection cone equals to the get connection. All right, connection cone equals to get connection, and after that guys, as we have got the connection, JDBC connection, so we have to write the query to select. Okay, and then we have to write a prepare statement to get the username and the password, and then we have to authenticate it. All right, so for that guys, I am going to create a variable with the name string SQL, and here guys, inside this I am going to write SQL like the query to select. So select, okay, select star from login. Okay, so guys, here I am writing a query to select the star from the login table. So guys, here the login will be with the login table. Okay, where username is my column name inside the login table. Okay, and password equals to question mark. All right, so till here I have written a simple SQL query to select the username and the password, and guys, here I have written select star from login table where the username and the password. All right, so now guys, the next step is to create the object or the reference variable of the prepared statement. Prepared statement ps. All right, so let's import this from the java.sql. okay, so now guys, we have to ps equals to cone dot the prepared statement. Okay, and inside this argument I have to pass the SQL query we have written. So guys, here the SQL query is like the select star. So guys, it is saying to surround it with a try and catch. So guys, inside the try catch we are going to ps dot the set string. Okay, so guys, here we are going to call the set string method. All right, and then we have to pass the parameter index and the value. So let's keep the parameter index 1, and here guys, we have the username inside the login bean. Okay, so let's get the username by the get the username method of the login bean. Okay, so guys, here by calling the login bean dot get username, we are getting the username which are stored inside our login bean class. So let's copy this line and let's paste it, and here change the index as 2, and here get password. Okay, get password method. All right, so guys, after this guys, we have taken the username and a password. All right, and now guys, we have to write a ps.execute. So guys, we have to run a ps.execute like a query method to execute our SQL query. Okay, execute query method. All right, and guys, here I am going to store the resultant which we will fetch from the database inside our result set. Okay, so result set rs equals to the ps.execute query. So let's import this, the java.sql. Okay, so guys, inside the result set we have the return of the ps.execute query. Okay, so guys, here guys, before that, so let's create a status variable and let's keep it as a boolean type, boolean status equals to false. All right, so guys, let's do it here. Status equals to rs dot next method, and guys, here it will return true if there is anything, or otherwise it will return false. Okay, so let's return status from the return statement. So let's keep it as a status. So guys, till here guys, we have created a validate method which is going to validate the username and the password from the database, and if the username and the password is matches with the database, then guys, it is going to return the status as a true, otherwise it is going to return the false status as a value false. Okay, so now guys, inside the DAO layer we have successfully created the validate method. So let's go to our servlet and let's call this method, and guys, here guys, successfully I have called the validate method. All right, so guys, here guys, we have to put it in a condition. So let's say that if the login DAO dot validate is like true. Okay, if the login DAO dot validate is a true, then guys, we have to redirect to the login success page. So for that guys, I am going to create a login success page inside the web content. So let's create a new JSP and let's keep the name as a login SUCCES success. Okay, and let's finish this. And guys, inside the login success, let's put information. So let's keep the div align equals to center. All right, and let's put a header and let's show the message that you have successfully login. Okay, login, successfully login. Okay, so let's save this. So let's save all. So guys, I have created a login success JSP page. So now let's go to our login servlet, and inside the login servlet guys, if the login DAO.validate is true, then guys, we are going to redirect to the login success page. Okay, so for that guys, I am going to use the response object dot, and I'm going to call the send redirect method. Okay, and after that guys, inside this I have to pass the login success.jsp. Okay, so let's check the spelling, LOGINSUCCES. Okay, login success. And after the guys, if the login DAO.validate is false, then guys, I will redirect it to the login page itself. Okay, so for that guys, response dot send redirect. Okay, and inside this let's write a login.jsp. so guys, if this is, guys, if the username and the password is not match with the database, then guys it is going to redirect to the login page itself. Okay, so till here we have completed the do post method, and guys here we are taking the username and the password, and then we are storing it in login bean. Okay, bean class, and then guys we are creating the object of the login DAO, and with that object we are calling the validate method, and the validate method is going to load the driver, the JDBC driver, and then guys it is going to take the connection, and with that connection we are calling the prepared statement, and here we are passing the query as to select star from login table where the username and the password value, and guys it is going to authenticate, and it is going to send the status as a true if the authenticate is done, and otherwise it is going to throw the status as false if the authenticate is not done. Okay, and after this guys it is going to our like the servlet class, and okay, and guys inside the servlet class, and guys if the login DAO.validate is true, then it is going to it is going to redirect to the login success page, otherwise it is going to redirect to the login page itself. Okay, so guys till here we have created. Now let's save all, and guys here we have to paste the driver, the JDBC, the MySQL driver, to load our driver. Okay, so guys in the next, so guys in the previous project of the registration I have already downloaded the library file. So guys from here I am going to copy and paste the library, or guys otherwise you can download it from the like the internet. Okay, so guys I have the jar file, so let's copy this jar file and let's paste it inside the library of the login demo project. So guys I have successfully pasted the MySQL connector jar. Okay, so till here guys we have created the login page and a servlet class and a login bin to store the username, the password, and a login DAO class and a login success page. Okay, so now guys let's run this project on server. So run on server, and let's check that whether it is working successfully or not. So let's finish it, let's restart the server. Okay, so guys here it is. Okay, so guys we have to change inside the web.xml, we have the welcome file as index.jsp or the default.htm. so let's keep this as a login.jsp. let's save it, and let's again rerun our project on a server. Next let's finish it, yeah, restart. Okay, so guys if everything is fine, then it is going, yes guys we are getting the login page. So now guys let's go to our MySQL Workbench, and inside the MySQL Workbench we have a user DB database. Okay, and we have a table, so let's create another table. So let's go to the table and right click, and let's create a table with the name login. So guys here guys let's create a login table, and inside the login table I am going to create the two columns. The first column is like the username, and the data type I am going to care as a varchar with the 45, and I'm going to keep is a primary key and a not null. Okay, constants. And now let's keep the column name as a password, and it should be not null. Okay, so guys I have created a login table and with the username and the password column. So let's apply this. So guys it is going to execute this query to create a table with the name username with the login and the username and the password as the two columns. So apply this and close it. So guys, here you can see that we have successfully created a login table, and guys it contains the username and the password, and guys here you can see that the value is null now. So let's create some values. So let's put the username as a Ashish, and let's put the password as a Ashish and apply this. So guys inside, and let's apply. So guys inside the login table I have inserted the two values as a username as a Ashish and the password as a Ashish. So let's go to our here. So guys here guys, this is my username login form. So let's put the username as Ashish and password as Ashish. If the login, and let hit the login button, and if guys it, so guys it is going to call the login servlet class, and inside that it is going to call the DAO class, and guys it is going to call the validate method, and it is going to check the authentication that the username Ashish is inside the database or not. So let's hit the login. So guys we are getting the error, request resource login demo login is not available. Okay, so let's check. It is like action as a login. So let's go to our login. Okay, let's copy this and let's go to our servlet. Yeah, this is same username and a password, login successful. Login.jsp and then login success.jsp. So we are getting some error, request login demo login is not available. So let's kill the Tomcat server for now, because we are getting the error due to the Tomcat server. So paste it here and run this. Okay, so after that let's go to our Eclipse ID and let's restart. So let's restart the server. So run on server and let do next and finish. So let's see that whether it is working or not. So guys we got the user form. So let's put Ashish and the password as Ashish and let's submit this. So guys you can see that we are getting the login success page as you have successful login. So now guys I am going to put the different password, and we are going to see that whether it is going to authenticate with this or not. So guys if the username or the password is not with the database, then guys it is going to redirect to the login page itself. So let's hit the submit button. So guys we can see that we got the login page again. Okay, so guys in this lecture we have seen how to do a login page by using a Servlet JSP and the JDBC code. And guys here guys we have written the login servlet, and guys inside the login servlet we have done the do post method. Okay, and guys inside the do post method we are taking the username and the password which we are entered in the JSP page, and then we are calling the validate method inside our DAO class. So guys the validate method is like loading the JDBC driver, and guys it is taking the connection, and after that we are executing the query as a select from the login username and the password, and guys it is authenticating. If the status is true, it means that the username and the password matches which we have entered in the JSP page. So guys it will return true, and guys if its return status is false, that it means it is not authenticated with the DB. So now guys, in the same way it is going to the login servlet, and after that if the status is true, then it is going to redirect to the login success page, otherwise it is direct to the login page itself. Okay, so guys, this is a very small example or a project to understand how to do a login by using a Servlet JSP JDBC and the MySQL. Thank you guys and have a nice day.